Hi, this is Bill Fallon. I've been driving with England for 6 months, and I thought, if you're watching this video, obviously you've got some important decisions to make, and you're trying to decide what's the next step in your life. And so I thought I would give you a rundown on my experience, what it was like, what it meant for me to go to England, and how they're treating me. And I think you'll be pleased. I think when I was in the recruiting process last November, December, like you, I did my homework. I saw the safety videos, the instructional videos that England put out, and they looked good. Of course, I saw the negative stuff too, and that concerned me. My recruiter was great, though. He was very upfront about it, and he told me, hey, what are you going to do? It's a free country. People can say whatever they want to say. And as I think about those videos, I don't know any of the guys that made the negative videos, but I feel bad for them. If you've gotten to the point in the recruiting process where you've got a date to come to school and you've got your bus confirmation, you're excited, you're ready to go. And you think about it, they were the same way. They were all excited to come to school. They were fired up. Somewhere along the way, though, they got off the rails. They stubbed their toe. And they didn't get the job they wanted. They didn't get their license. And they wound up going home. And, then their wife was saying to him, okay, honey, what do we do next? Their friends are saying, hey, I thought you were going to be a truck driver. And so, obviously they're down and they're looking for somebody to blame, and they decide to pick on England. The bottom line is, though, you don't know if they flunked out, if they just couldn't cut it. You don't know if they took a swing at somebody or did something, inappropriate and were asked to leave. All we know is that they're home, they're not happy, and they don't have a job. And of course, that's a tough deal, and that's why I feel bad for them. I started school December 15th, 2014. I got my license on the 29th. Now that's 2 weeks, and that's the shortest time you can do it, and it's important, and that's why uh, I'm going to give you some tips on how to get through it. But here's my license. Let's see if you can see that. You see where it was issued on the 29th of December, 2014. I whited out the stuff that's not important, but it's key for you. When I was coming to school, I wanted to make some money. I didn't want to sit around in school, and so obviously you want to get it done in the shortest amount of time. So I'm going to give you some tips and some pointers and let you know what my experience was like and where you can go with England. I'm going to show you my paycheck in a little while, and I think you'll be surprised on where you can be in only 6 months. I'm assuming now that you've been through the recruiting process, your background has been cleared, your motor vehicle record is cleared, and you've got your confirmation and you're ready to go. There's still some things you need to do to prepare, and these are important. And you're going to see as we go through this process, I'll mention things that are important, and they're important in sequence. Here's an example. Your documents, that's the number one thing. You've got to have an official birth certificate with the valid state seal, with the raised state seal, or you have to have a valid U.S. passport. If you weren't born in the States, you have to have your green card or your visa and work permits, whatever allows you to work here. You have to have that. You can't have photocopies. You can't be ordered. You have to have the right documents. So they start out by being most important because you're going to produce those Monday morning, the first day of class. The second thing, and there's 4 things in this preparation before you come. The second thing is medical. Now this is tricky because your recruiter, because of privacy laws, your recruiter cannot ask you about medical. But I'll tell you right now, if you have a medical condition where you take a prescription medicine, volunteer that information to your recruiter. If you have high blood pressure, if you have sleep apnea, if you have acid reflux, if you have anxiety or depression, if you're a veteran and you have PTSD, if you have a heart condition, if you've ever had a seizure, if you're taking meds for any of these kinds of things, it's important that you tell your recruiter about it and have them pre-approve for the meds you're on. You can see I'm an old guy. I take meds for blood pressure. I have a very aggressive allergy medicine that actually says in the bottle, do not use machinery while, do not operate machinery while using these meds. So I sent the medications in. The key thing, if you're using a med, is you have to be what they call stable on their meds. Now, I've been taking these for years, and so my meds got pre-approved. I came in, there wasn't going to be any problem. So if you're taking any medications, volunteer that to your recruiter because they can't ask you. The third thing is, and I said nobody was doing this when they came to school. I don't know where the thought occurred to me, but I went to the state website. I went to school in Salt Lake City, so I went to the Utah State Motor Vehicle website and I downloaded the CDL manual. It was over 100 pages. I didn't print it out, but I did download it to my computer, and I started to go through it. If there's one thing my recruiter could have done a better job on, and there's always something we can do better, but he really didn't explain to me how much information we had to learn in how short a period of time. And so do yourself a favor, download that CDL manual from whichever state you're going to school in, go through it, get acquainted with it, and go through it a number of times. It's really important because things happen very quickly when you go to school. And the fourth thing is, if you've got your bus confirmation and it's convenient, go down to the bus station early and pick up your ticket. You do not have a guaranteed seat on the bus until you pick up your ticket. And Greyhound will oversell. We had 2 or 3 guys in our class that had wanted to come in earlier, but when they got to the bus on Saturday, it was full and they wouldn't let them on. So make sure your docs are ready. Make sure your meds are cleared if you're taking any. Download that CDL manual and go through it. The more times you do, the better. And pick up your bus ticket early so that you don't get shut out at the bus station on Saturday. Those are the things you want to do ahead of time. So you're on the bus, you're excited, you're ready to go. You get to school Saturday or Sunday, depending on your travel arrangements. You get settled in. School starts Monday morning at 6 o'clock, first thing, bright and early. They're going to divide your class up into groups of 10 or 12 to start going through the documents, the physicals, the drug tests, and those kind of things are going to happen all throughout Monday morning and into Monday afternoon. And this is why I say the documents and things like that are important, because they're going to be handled the very first day. When you're not in one of those 3 areas taking care of that business, they're going to distribute to you a whole pack of material. I mean, it's a binder full of all the materials for the course. They're also going to give you a 150 question open book test. And they're going to start going through that, but pretty much you're on your own Monday to go through that. If you come in as a team, work together, help each other. If you came in as a solo, that's okay. Connect with somebody in your class who you want to be a study buddy and help each other. Now, I said you're going to get a lot of information, and that thick batch of materials is a bunch. It's important that you do all 150 questions the first day. You do not want to let anything lag over to the next day. I don't care if it takes you till 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. Dig through that material, answer all 150 questions. We had guys in the class say, oh, no, I'm not going to worry about that. They're going to give us all the answers tomorrow. Well, it's true. On Tuesday, they go through the whole open book test. They give you the answers to all 150 questions, and along with some funny stories, at least the instructors think they're funny, and some examples to help you remember. The problem with that is, if that's the first time you're hearing it, you might not retain it. And Wednesday morning, they're going to put you on a bus and send you to the motor vehicle department to take the test. And guess what? Nobody there is going to give you the answers. So do yourself a favor. Spend the time on Monday. I don't care how long it takes you. Answer all 150 questions. Make notes in the borders, what questions you've got. The instructors will answer them on Tuesday. And so the Tuesday becomes a review. And then you're ready for the test on Wednesday. When you go in to take that test on Wednesday, you want to pass it. You want to walk out of there with your permit ready to go, ready to get in the vehicle. Now, this was the breakdown of my class. We had 85 people in class on Monday morning. I did a head count. 6 got sent home Monday for documents. There's no excuse for that. They should have had their documents ready. 4 got sent home for medical, and I felt bad about that because they didn't really, discuss it with their recruiters, and they can't. So this is why you have to volunteer. And then one guy got sent home because he failed the drug test. Do not be that person. If there's any question about, when you last used either an illegal drug or marijuana in a state where it's legal for medical or recreational purposes, it is not allowed in any form for a CDL in any state. Do not fail the drug test. It goes on your permanent record for the rest of your life. Anybody that ever looks at your motor vehicle record forever will see that you failed a drug test when applying for a CDL. So some 70 plus people went to the motor vehicle on Wednesday morning. Less than half passed the test the first time. Now, I was fortunate. I passed the first time. My teammate did as well. So we walk out of there Wednesday. We're still excited. We're still happy. We've got our permit. And all that tough stuff, the testing, the documents, the medical, the drug test, all that's behind us. Don't have to worry about that anymore. What it means is that Thursday we're in the trucks. Thursday you begin your backing. There's 3 backing maneuvers: straight backing, parallel parking, and the offset back. And you have to master all those, and you have to test on them. And they do one each day: Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so there's a lot going on. You don't want to be at the motor vehicle retesting on Thursday or Friday, and we had guys doing that. It's impossible to get through school in 2 weeks if you miss any of these benchmarks. That's why I say be prepared, download the CDL manual, go through it a few times, be serious and focused when you get to school. There's a lot of distractions. They've got pool tables, ping pong tables, they've got video games, they've got feature-length movies in the auditorium every night. You could get sucked into all that stuff. But remember why you're there. You're there to change your life, to get a new career. This transportation thing is booming. There's so many opportunities. It's amazing. And you'll just see from my experience what it's done for me in only 6 months. So you've passed off your state test. You've got your permit. You're out on the backing range. The backing range is an interesting thing because not only are you getting into a new vehicle in a whole new format, but you're backing up. And so, they start with the toughest thing first, which I guess in the long run is good, but you have to learn how to back in those 3 days. They're going to shut down the backing ranger. They're going to, they're going to dismiss you from class between 5:30 and 6 o'clock every afternoon. Take a break, get something to eat, work out, check your email, call home, whatever you're going to do, take a little nap, and then go back out on the backing range. They keep it open at night. There's an instructor or 2 out there, and they have a few of the trucks that are available to back. 2 important reasons. Number 1, you get more comfortable, you get more practice behind the wheel, and you're more prepared for the test. The second is, it's at night. 25% of England's freight is delivered at night, and guess what? In 2 weeks, you're going to be delivering at night. And there's a little bit different feel. The way the lighting, the shadows, the yard lights, using the marker lights on the truck, it's definitely a different feel when you're backing at night, so you might as well work on it while you're there with the instructors and while they can help you. Does that make sense? Of course, Sunday is a day off, but it's also a day where you can go out on the backing range. Instructors will be out there. Get your practice in, because Monday you're going to be taking the backing test. And just like the state written exam, you want to pass that the first time. Again, my teammate and I were ready because we did some extra practicing. We felt good about our backing, and we completed the backing the first time. So boom, Tuesday, we're in the trucks driving forward, and at the end of the day, that's what we get paid for. So you want to hit each of these benchmarks as they come along. We completed the driving portion, the hills, the parking lots, the truck stops, the city maneuvering, the tight turns, the freeway. We did all that over a 3-day period, and we passed our driving test on the first shot. So we go down to DMV, we get our license. That's exciting. Sierra England records all that, gets copies of all that, and then we're sitting by the phone waiting for our trainer to call. So Monday the 29th is when we were officially hired, got our licenses. Tuesday the 30th, our trainer called and we're in the truck and ready to go and making money. And that's really, really where you want to be. You're going to spend 3 to 4 weeks with your Phase 1 trainer. It all depends on how many hours you're in the driver's seat. So encourage your trainer to give you full shifts so that you get to drive as much as possible. And he can plan around that, where he's doing most of the loading or unloading or any of the downtime, and get your 180 hours in. We were able to, our trainer was great. He basically let us drive the truck, and he coached us and helped us because we were, as a team, there were 3 of us on the truck. And so my teammate and I each got to drive 10 to 11 hours a day, and our trainer drove a few hours a day or not at all, depending on what was required. In 3 weeks, we finished our Phase 1, went in, we did our Phase 1 upgrade in our tests at the Sierra England facility. That got passed off, and boom, we're into our team apprentice training. And you want to do all of that as soon as possible, because every step of the way, you're making more money. And that's really where you want to be. You don't want to hesitate on that. Now, the other thing that's important, and I've seen some videos that say, how you do in school is not important. But I'll tell you that it is. When you're hired with Sierra England, you're guaranteed a career, as they tell you. And where it is, it's in the national over-the-road fleet, which is still a great job. You're going to make $35,000, $38,000 the first year. It's going to work out fine. I was shooting a little higher than that. I wanted to get on a dedicated lane. Now, dedicated is where you work for one customer, a lot of times on a standardized route where you know what your schedule is going to be, when you're going to be home. All those things are laid out. Plus, dedicated lanes make more money. And so I was shooting a little bit above that 35 to 38,000. Here's how it works. The dedicated freight is managed by Sierra England fleet managers. And when they're looking for a driver, when they're looking for a new driver for their fleet, they can see your record. They can see your record at school. They can see comments from your instructors and from your trainers. They can see your performance, your on-time performance in the 5 or 6 months that you're in your team apprentice training. They can see all the information on your file. So you got to figure that if you pass the tests off the first time, you get through school in the shortest amount of time, you have good comments about attitude and about attendance and about your participation in the class and in your training programs, it's going to help you. It's like a transcript when you come out of school. And I wanted a good dedicated lane. Now, dedicated is usually based on geography, so you're going to be assigned a career coordinator when you get on your phase one truck. And you want to get a relationship going with them because they're going to help you find the opportunities within Sierra England. And my career coordinator was great. She identified 3 dedicated lanes that were within 100 miles of my house, which, as I said, it's usually a geography is the number one condition. And all 3 of these would take a new student right out of their team apprentice training. And so one of those lanes didn't need any drivers. The other 2 did. I interviewed with both of them over the phone. They both had seen my record in school. One of them made me an offer, and I took it. And so I'm going to show you here my pay statement and see how this comes up. See if you can see that. Whoops. There we go. Okay. You can tell I'm not very good at this. But you can see here that I got on this fleet in May. So I went through my schooling, I went through my apprentice training, I got on this fleet in May, and look at what my weekly pay is. I do 4 runs a week, the same 4 every week, and my gross pay $1,269. Now let me tell you, I don't know any place where you can go from making $34,000 to $35,000 a year, which is what I was making before I came to England, to $60,000 a year in 6 months. And you can do it here at Sierra England. So I'd encourage you to get prepared ahead of time, be serious, be focused when you come to class, and don't let any distractions stop you from your goal. Don't stub your toe. Don't get off the rail. Stay with the program. Now, you may have some questions. I've set up an email just for that purpose. In case you have any questions, you can email me. Here we go. bill.cre@hotmail.com. And, of course, I get that on my phone. So if there's any questions or if you have anything that you'd like to have clarified or you'd like to know more about, don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to give you what answers I have or pass it on to recruiting. Now the last thing, we have a saying here at Sierra England: work safe, home safe, and that is critical in this industry. Our safety, the safety of our teammates, the general public that we share the highways with, the equipment, the customer's freight, it's all very important. I know you have a big decision. I'd encourage you to go to England. They did a great job for me, and as you can see from my pay and my opportunity, there's opportunities here for you to do exactly the same thing. Whatever you decide to do, be safe out there. I wish you good luck. I wish you all the best.